straightforward. I'm gonna get to the point, okay? I'm gonna give you the performance measures that you need. If you look in your books, those performance measures will be in there. I'm gonna give you how to execute these performance measures in the right way that you could definitely get a no-go, no questions asked, okay? Just a couple ground rules about my AO. Please, no smoking or dipping in the training area or in the buildings. You can go ahead and eat your chow in your ruck plan over there, okay? My buildings are made of wood, so please respect them. When you go through the breach, don't break anything that you don't need to. I'm going to tell you how to properly execute that breach so you don't break the building, okay? All right, so your first task, enter and clear a room. Given your conditions, operating as a part of a larger unit, you're given a mission to enter and clear a room. Enemy personnel are templated to be inside the building, and you have been given guidance of your rules of engagement. Standards are to enter and clear the room, killing or capturing all enemy combatants while minimizing friendly casualties and following your rules of engagement, okay? All right, you're gonna have a friendly fire team member already pre-posed on the building like so, okay? He's just gonna be standing here pulling security. This fire team member will do whatever you tell him to do. He won't do anything more, he won't do anything less. So when you give him guidance or direction, like I will show you in a second, make sure it's clear and concise, okay? And he will follow it. He's not there to fuck you. He's not there to get you a no-go. He's simply there to accomplish that task with you, okay? Your first performance measure for this task is to put yourself in the stack where you see best fit, where you have the most control. So I'll come up from my last covered and concealed, bounding or IMTing or what have you, and I'll get in the stack as the number 2 man. Right here I have the most control, and this is where I see the best fit in the fire team stack. I'll get a go if I put myself the number 2 man, all right? At this point, you can dump every TTP that you've learned about Battle Drill 6 and utilize the EIB land TTP, securing your non-firing hand, placing it on his trapezoid, and squeezing. That's going to signal him to enter the room at any time. After one squeeze, the second squeeze will signal him to stop, all right? So you squeeze once, he's going to pie off that corner, squeeze again, you're going to take a tactical pause and possibly go into another task, or most likely go into another task that you can find in your EIB handbook, okay? You'll then signal him again to enter and clear that room by squeezing his trap again and alternating directions, clearing your corners and getting into your points of domination. You can come closer. Notice how the number 1 man button hooked and went left. All right, he's not wrong. The number 1 man is never wrong. When you are stacked up outside the building, you have the option of telling him, once you have your hand on his trap, hey, go left. That's fine. You will not get no-go for that. He will go left, all right? You also have the option of not telling him anything. Just know that he's going to go, not always the path of least resistance, he's going to go where he wants because the number 1 man is never wrong. For this performance measure, as long as you alternate sides when you enter that room, you're going to get a go, okay? All right, at this time I notice that I have a door right, all right? So I'm going to let my fire team know, door right, door right, door right. Now I know that I'm going to be conducting a mechanical breach, most likely here very soon. Now I cannot possibly conduct a mechanical breach while locking down the door myself. So I have to bring him over, bringing this into my next performance measure, which is in place security within the room. So I'm maintaining security. Hey, come lock this door down. He's going to come lock the door down. I'm going to drop my muzzle, stand up. Again, he's not going to tell you, he's not going to do anything you don't tell him to do. So he just got on a knee. He won't do that, okay? However, if you just tell him, hey, lock the door down, and he comes over here, you're going to get a no-go. Because when you go to conduct your mechanical breach, you're going to see if he's locking the door down from here, he's going to be flagging you, and actually your security will drop in the room. If your security drops in the room, you're going to get a no-go. All right? So where he is right now, locking the door, you've been placed your security. At that position right there, you are a go, okay? This window right here to my left is out of play. It's a grading window. It only exists in this building. It does not exist in the other 2 buildings, okay? So you can just forget about it. It's out of play. Your last performance measure, after you have in place security, you're going to secure one of these foxtails that you'll get in the op order tent. You're going to get 2 of them in the op order tent. Make sure you take both of them with you, okay? You're going to take this foxtail and then you're going to drape it over the opening of the door like so. You can either put it on the bottom, you can either put it on the top. Both will get you a go for that performance measure. All right, that's your last performance measure for this task. What are your questions? All right, things that will get you a definite no-go for this task. All right, there's a couple of tactical no-goes. If you cross this open door before you link up with your fire team, you're going to get a no-go, okay? And that's pretty cut and dry. That's pretty plain and simple, okay? If you come into this room, there will be enemy inside the room. If you come into the room and you go to engage the enemy and you hear it click and your weapon malfunctions, you need to go into remedial action. If you can't do that quickly enough and engage him and the enemy fires at you and kills you, you're going to be a no-go because you haven't cleared that room. However, if you have a malfunction and you go ahead to a secondary means or a secondary weapon, i.e. a knife, hooligan tool, battering ram, anything that you have on your kit that you can utilize, you can go ahead and show the means to the cadre, and the cadre will give you a go for that performance measure for clearing that room, okay? But just don't think that your fire team member is going to pick up that sector, because he is not. He's not instructed to do so. Clearing the room is an individual task, so if you yourself does not kill that enemy or capture that enemy combatant, you're going to get a no-go, okay? All right, so now we're going to move into our second task conducted in this building, which is conducting mechanical breach. Conditions. Given part of an assault element, you're given direct guidance to conduct a mechanical breach, all right? Standards are to conduct a mechanical breach successfully, securing the mechanical breach, and maintaining the breach point, all right? Now, before ULD, you're going to be given at your op order tent a hooligan prying tool, okay? It's the adz end, this is the spiked end, and this is the forked end. Your first performance measure for this task is to inspect this hooligan prying tool. All right, this inspection has to be done in the op order tent. If you come up here and you forget that you have inspected your hooligan tool and you go to inspect it at the door, this is not the place to do it, and you're going to get no-go. You're going to get a tactical no-go. All right. When you're in the tent, simply tell the cadre, I'm now inspecting the hooligan tool for any rust, cracks, corrosion, or bends in the metal, and you'll be good to go. He will know what you mean by making sure this is serviceable, and you'll be good to go. Okay, you knocked out that first performance measure. All right, your second performance measure is to identify the breach point. You have already identified that breach point if you have placed security correctly. Remember, if you didn't place security correctly in the room and he is not locking that door down, you have another chance to do that right now, okay? You have another chance to have him lock down that door. If, again, you don't have him lock down that door, you're going to get no-go not only for entering clear room, but for conducting mechanical breach, okay? That's identifying the breach point. All right, your third performance measure for this is inspecting the breach point. I know we don't like to do this, but in EIB land, we have to do it. All right, you're going to conduct a physical and visual inspection of the door jamb, inspecting for any wires, protruding booby traps, and such, okay? You can inspect all four sides. You're then going to twist the doorknob, ensuring that it is locked, and you have to conduct the mechanical breach. After you have done this, you will signal to your fire team member, and we're going to breach, okay? Give them a hand and arm signal. This signal can be done one of two places: immediately after your inspection or prior to you breaking the door locking mechanism. Both are acceptable. Both are going to get you a go, okay? All right, to conduct your breach, you're going to take the adz end of the hooligan prying tool. You're going to insert the adz end of the hooligan prying tool between the door locking mechanism and the door jamb. If you can't see, go ahead and get in the building, all right? You're going to tap the hooligan prying tool on the top approximately 3 times to get a good piece of that metal between the door jamb and the door locking mechanism. You're then going to secure the far end of the forked end, and you're going to pull out on the hooligan prying tool. Can everybody see that? All right. You're going to simply pry out, creating some separation between the door locking mechanism and the door jamb. Now, obviously, I don't have a door locking mechanism in this door. It's a dowel rod. All right. You are not going to be actually breaking anything, so don't feel like you need to continually pry at this door to separate it. You're simply going through this performance measure, signifying that you know what to do by separating that door locking mechanism from the door jamb. Cadre will fucking understand that, and I'll give you a go for that performance measure. You will then face the Halligan tool inwards with the adze end facing towards you, spiked end facing towards the bottom, and the forked end facing away from you. You're going to strike either on the bottom or on the top of the doorknob, breaking the door locking mechanism. Now, notice how I have that good sideways L shape underneath the doorknob. Can everybody see that? That is the proper way to breach this door. This is also an accepted way to breach the door. However, if you notice, half of this Hooligan prying tool, the adze end, is connecting with this door jamb, making you 50% less effective to break this door. During train-up purposes, we're not going to have dowel rods in these doors because we don't have enough of them. For train-up week, there will be dowel rods. So if you strike it like this, it's going to take a little while to get that door open. You're going to be burning time on the clock. All right? Strike like this, and I guarantee you it'll take no more than 2 swings, okay? It should take on the first swing, all right? Remember, strike either below or on top of the doorknob. If you go and try to strike it in the middle of my door, not only are you going to break it and piss me off, but you're not going to open the door, okay? It'll look like this. All right? At this point, the breach has been conducted. You can throw your Hooligan tool. You don't need it anymore. Now, the next thing that needs to happen is very specific, okay? You need to identify that the breach point is open and signal your fire team to get through that breach point so you can secure it on the far side. The guidance you will give to your fire team, and write this down, is breach open, push through, okay? If you say that specific command, you will get a go for this performance measure, okay? You're doing 2 things with that short sentence, okay? Breach open, push through. You're letting him know, your fire team know, the breach is good, and to push through so that you can get him on the other side to secure the breach point, which will be your next performance measure. So breach open, push through. Let's go. Slow down. All right. He's going to get through the breach point. Once he's through the breach point, you go into your next performance measure, which is secure the breach point. You'll then place him far side of the door, either left or right security. Full security right here. Face out. Get on our knee. Remember, that guy will only do what you tell him to do. So if you tell him to pull security right, he's going to stay standing up pulling security right. All right? So you're going to have to tell him to get on a knee. This is the correct way to place him in security. Depending on what building you're at, these buildings do not mirror each other. So you're going to have to pick the side that you see best fit, that you get the best security for. It may not be the right side, okay? After you have placed in security, you're going to move through the breach point yourself, conducting your 5s and 25s, okay? At this time, you are now maintaining the breach point. You have secured the breach point, and you are now maintaining the breach point. So I'll back up a couple steps after we have conducted the mechanical breach. I give the guidance, breach open, push through. He's pushed through. I set him in security. I do my 5s and 25s. I'm now maintaining the breach point. I'll go into my last performance measure, which is marking the breach point. Again, 1 out of 2 of these foxtails are going to need to be marked the breach point like so. You can either put them on the bottom, you can put them on the top. Both will get you a go. All right. Like I said, you need to take both of those foxtails and the Hooligan tool to get all those up here at this station. Okay. What are your questions? All right. Things that will get you definitely no-go. If you don't take one of your foxtails, you already can expect to get at least 1 no-go up here. If you don't take any of your foxtails, you're definitely getting no-go for enter and clear and mechanical breach. If you don't take your Hooligan tool, Cadre will allow you to kick the door down, but he will give you a no-go for the mechanical breach. All right, he won't stop you at that task, but he will let you kick the door down, but you will get a no-go for that. You have to breach with the Hooligan tool. Tactical no-goes. Like I said, if you cross that open door without your fire team, you're going to get a no-go. If you come into the room and you don't kill or capture the enemy combatant, and the Cadre sees it's been long enough, he's going to have that out for shoot you, and you're going to be a no-go for enter and clear room. This red marking on my door jamb, it doesn't signify biological or chemical threat. Purely signifies do not trip over me, okay? I don't want nobody getting hurt on my test site, so that's why I painted this red. That's all it signifies. Once again, that's a grading window. Any other questions before we start? Good. All right, let's go.